Me start my timer. All right. Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So great to see you all today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our quick reminders for the start of class. Number one is just remember we've been doing a great job of working hard and focusing during the exercises, and we're going to save our socializing for before class, during official break times, and during stretching.
Great
Okay,
idea.
and other than that, let's work hard. Another reminder is that if there's any noise on your end, we can all hear it. So please be respectful. If a phone rings or someone comes in to talk to you, just put yourself on mute. That would be super appreciated. And I don't often remind you of this, but also remember these sessions are recorded. Okay, and so that's another reason we want the extra noise
Will you get him?
filtered out. All right.
On that. Go on. Yes.
Okay, gang, I'm gonna sit back and let's take you through your breathing exercises to start. So let's get one hand on our belly, one hand on our chest, and let's practice our belly breathing to start. So I want just the hand on your belly to move as you breathe in. That belly fills up with air, the hand on your chest shouldn't move, and then breathing out through pursed lips. So breathe in, fill up that belly, and breathing out through pursed lips. Breathing in and out. Remember, your breathing capacity is different than other people's, so go at your own pace. Breathing in and out. And once more, breathing in and out. All right, right from there, gang. Now, actually, one different thing we're going to do today is take your hands, and I now want you to put them just on the outside of your rib cage. And if holding them like this isn't comfortable, you're welcome to keep the elbows down and just place your hands like this. So we're going to take a breath in. And this time, I want you to feel as if your rib cage is opening up, pushing against those hands. Again, be aware of what your capacity is. So breathing in, push those hands apart, just to where you can, and then breathing out through pursed lips. Then you should feel that rib cage start to compress. So breathing in, the rib cage expands, and breathe out through pursed lips. And we're going to do 3 more just like that. Breathing in and out. In, expand that rib cage. And out. And one last time, breathing in and out. There we go. So try to maintain that steady breathing pattern, gang. And let's start to get those arms moving. So similar to our shoulder mobility exercises, I want you either just lifting one hand back behind your head, or if your shoulder feels great, you can raise that arm straight up, arching it back slightly. Now maintain that breathing pattern as we go. And see how far back you can comfortably reach. Let that chest arch up slightly. Maintain that breathing. Excellent work, gang. All right, now from there, we're going to reach across our body. So that's our second shoulder mobility exercise. And we're reviewing them again because they are getting sent out to you. So I want you to be able to read the exercise and go, oh yeah, I remember that one. So this is the pat on the back. And if that pinches the shoulder, just bring it straight across. There we go. And then that third exercise is hands on the belly, pull those thumbs apart to create that W and back in. So pull those thumbs apart, create that W and back in. It is helpful to breathe in as you open up those hands, breathe out as you bring them back in. Excellent job, gang. Good, just a last few. And once more. Perfect. All right, team. Now I want you rolling one shoulder back at a time. Bring me back to those shimmy days. Now, as we roll back one shoulder at a time, I want the opposite leg touching forward and then coming back. So rolling back your shoulders as one heel touches in front of you at a time. And again, we're just getting into that bit of mobility, telling your bodies we are getting ready to work hard.
Oh.
And I want you to reverse, I know, working hard, reverse that shoulder roll. Now the shoulders are coming forwards as one heel steps forward at a time. Think of it as swimming with your shoulders. The arms aren't involved yet, but that upper back is getting moving. Those shoulders are getting moving. All right, now something slightly different. Pull those knees out wide, toes are facing out. Now, you're only going to go as far down as your lungs let you. But what I want you to do, and we've done this with weight, but not really in warm up, I want you leaning forward. And again, that chest stays up. As soon as the chest slumps, that's where we struggle with that breath. So keep that head up. And then pull yourself back up. And I want you leaning back to wherever is comfortable to you. And then again, forwards. So it might feel a little bit pinchy at the front of the hips, might feel a bit tight at the back of the legs. So slow and controlled, we are looking to get some movement through those hips because we are going to work them hard today.
Oh.
And I might need to apologize in advance.
Yes, you do.
You know what? It might be coincidence, but I said that and then someone left the class.
I think
We're just going to say that they had internet problems. That's right.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So keep those knees pressed out, gang. Even as you lean forward, you have to fight to keep those knees out.
Your screen just minimized.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, if it doesn't come back in a couple of seconds, I might need to switch internet networks. So keep me posted on that. That's good feedback. Thank you.
It says your bandwidth is low.
It's saying mine is low
Yes.
Yeah.
and it hasn't changed yet.
Not, no. Oh, there it is. It's okay now.
Back.
Perfect. So let's see if it holds for 10 seconds. What we're going to do next is your toe is going to stretch forward in front of you. So now we're getting that bit of a stretch through the front of your lower leg. Reach out that arm and bring it back. So touch and back, touch and back. You can do this seated or standing. So again, it is up to you to figure out what is challenging yet doable. Stretch those toes out in front of you and then bring them back. Maintain that steady breathing. Remembering to breathe out through pursed lips. Excellent job, gang. Now, if you can keep your feet moving, one after the other, I'm going to get you to reach your both hands forward and then both hands out to the side. Both hands forward, both hands out to the side. So forward, side, forward, side. There we go. Keep up that breathing pattern. Remembering to breathe out through pursed lips. Good coordination, everybody. Okay, we're gonna make it a little bit more challenging.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Look at her go.
No escaping yet. All right, now we're gonna march our feet. So try to find a steady tempo for you. Okay, whether that's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, whatever is steady for your body today. Now, I want us to keep those feet moving at that steady tempo. Now, your arms. We're going to get our arms, start your arms off at that same tempo. Now, this is where your brains are going to have to think. So our arms are marching with our legs. Now, without changing the tempo of your legs, I want you to speed up your arms. Oh boy, oh boy.
It's hard on the brain.
It is hard on the brain. So the trick is, guys, find your steady tempo of the feet. So for me, I'm going to count out my tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now that's in the back of my brain and I'm still conscious of it. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I start moving my arms. But still in the back of my brain, I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go.
Sometimes one of my feet doesn't come back down.
Yeah, that's your nervous system trying to get used to the movement and rest. Now, similar thing. Our leg goes out to the side. And again, my tempo, which might be different than yours, is a 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and now my arms.
Get out of here.
Oh, I lost the tempo. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So what helps is if we're going kind of double speed with those arms, and remember, if your shoulders or neck are giving you trouble today, just go out in front. Remember, longer range of motion means more oxygen. Now, I find it helpful to try to get both hands up in the time it takes my leg to move out and back. That's double time. I know sometimes we feel like we need to close our blinds for the coordination part of class. There we go, team. And rest. Awesome job. That's challenging stuff.
Yeah.
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 Different parts of your body going at different speeds. You guys are looking amazing. So I've got one more for you. Now, you're going to roll your arms. So again, marching 1, 2. Now, we're going to go faster and slower with just the hands. Don't let the legs change their tempo. Ready? Just the arms and faster. And slower. And slower, try to get slower than the tempo of your legs. And faster. And slower. That slower is challenging. And faster. And slower. Now switch directions. Oh boy, and faster. And slower. And faster. And slower. Keep up that steady breathing. Faster. Slower.
3 things I gotta remember.
Woo! Now rest. Nice work, gang. So feel free to grab a sip of water. It's really, really good to keep drinking water throughout the class.
Jill, I found that very interesting because usually when it's coordination like that, I have a real problem. And like when I do the feet and the hands and stuff, I battle to different speeds. But with the hands, I found it quite easy to do different
Good.
speeds with my hand and my legs like that. It was quite unusual, you know.
Absolutely. And that's just your central nervous system.
Yes.
Some things are easier to do and some things are harder to do.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So nice work. Really, really good. Now, gang, I'm going to take you through 2 balance exercises. And you can do this standing or seated. If you are going to stay seated, I do encourage you to get a pillow or rolled up towel that you can sit on to add a little bit of instability. Okay, so I'm going to show you the 2 options though. Seated, one leg is going to be held up if you can. Okay, and if that leg gets tired, just switch. Now, your goal is, can you keep your hips still as you lift up those arms and back, and then back down. Now, if you are going to do this standing, I would encourage you to try to have your leg crossed over so your feet are kind of in a straight line. But remember in the past, we've talked about base of support. The wider apart those feet are, the more stable you are. And the more narrow, the more unbalanced you are. So find something that's challenging yet doable for you. And the arms are doing the same thing. Okay, so can we stay stable as those arms move, whether you are standing or whether you're seated? And seated, you're either sitting on that unstable surface like a pillow or a towel. Good, maintain your breathing, gang. And we're just going to switch sides. So either switch which foot is in front or switch which leg is up. Excellent job, everybody. Good, maintain your breathing pattern, fight to stay strong and stable. And rest. Woo! Now, the last one we're going to do
Oh, that's it.
of balance.
Oh,
I'm gonna get you to place your hands on your hips or across your chest. And I just want you to turn slightly. So if you're seated, it looks like this. You're gonna hold this slight turn. Now again, the lower back isn't turned, it's just the shoulders and my head. And you're gonna try to hold that leg up, and you're gonna turn and turn back nice and slow. Now, if you're standing, again, find that challenging yet doable part, whether your feet are side by side, or if you want to try one foot in front of the other, the more in line they are, the harder it is to balance. Go slow, make sure you have balance support close by. And remember, as we've talked in the past, try to grip the ground with your toes and crush that walnut between your bum cheeks. That's going to keep you strong and stable. So find that challenging yet doable stance and position for you. And we are just going to switch sides. So either switching which foot is in front or switching which leg is up and turn. And remember, if at any point you feel discomfort or pain, it's very, very important to let me know, because we can always change things up so that you're getting the most benefit. Maintain that breathing pattern, gang.
This one really bothers my shoulder.
Does it? So question, are your arms crossed?
For my big part.
Are your arms crossed? Is that Gord?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gord, get your hands on your hips. Yeah, and turn mostly your head. That should feel better.
Much better.
Yeah. All right, and rest there, team. Awesome, awesome job. Now, we're gonna do a couple of intervals today because we've been spending a lot of time in our education sessions talking about intervals. And so yesterday we talked about different ways to adjust the intensity. So here's what we're going to do. We're gonna do 30 seconds of higher intensity and 30 seconds of lower intensity. And remember that lower intensity is just less intense than what you were doing. For some of you, it's stopping completely and focusing on your breathing. For some of you, it is some light movement. Okay, so you have to decide what is challenging yet doable for you. Now, 30 seconds and 30 seconds, if you find that 30 seconds of recovery time isn't quite enough, well, I'm going to be calling out time every 30. Feel free to do a minute of recovery and 30 seconds of work. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
And the opposite is true too. If you want to just keep working for a minute and then have a full rest or light rest for 30 seconds, that works too. All right. We're going to start simple with marching. And we're going to start with marching because we all know how to do that. And I can quickly review with you the different ways to affect intensity are speed, resistance, so using your band or your weight, number of body parts moving. This is too intense, then we can get just the arms moving or just the legs moving. And we've got range of motion. So the higher up you lift those legs, the more you swing those arms, the more intense it is. Now that's 30 seconds. So again, do what is a lower intensity for you, whether that's moving slower, whether that's getting into your recovery position. And remember, recovery position is hands on your thighs, hinged forward. That helps open up your airways, but we want that head to be in line with your torso. And your recovery breathing, really focusing on breathing out through pursed lips. All right, and that is 30 seconds. So go to your higher intensity. And remember, standing is another way to increase the intensity. And throughout all of these intervals, you should continue being able to take a full breath. Excellent job, everybody. And 30 seconds. So maybe you are, whatever lowering that intensity looks like to you. And we're going to do one more set of marching just because it's so much fun. So maintain that breathing. And if you're feeling good, you're ready to get back at it, then we're starting in 3, 2, and go. So increasing that intensity, whatever that looks like to you, to have it be challenging yet doable. Maintain your breathing pattern, breathing out through pursed lips. Helps prevent air from being trapped in your lungs, helps get that stale air out so you have more room for oxygenated air, and lower intensity. Great job, gang. Now keep going through whatever your low intensity interval is. And our next movement, we are going to get into some shadow boxing, because I know that's a favorite for a lot of you. And just a refresher, your shadow boxing is punching in front of you. Thinking about keeping that core tight. Okay, so seated or standing. We had a longer rest interval here, and that's great. So 3, 2, and punching.
What if
Remember,
the
we've
shadow's
also-
winning.
Yeah, we'll just say you're a winner, Terry.
Oh, I think the shadow's winning.
Oh no, that's halfway, gang. Keep up your breathing. Remember to do our movements with purpose. 3, 2, and low intensity. So that might mean just casually keeping your arms moving. That might mean that full rest, whatever that looks like to you. Now, if you're wondering, well, Jill, how do I add weight to this? You can either hold on to soup cans or light weights, or you can get the band around your back and push out, okay? We have got a couple more seconds. So 3, 2, and go. Shadow boxing again. This is 2 of 3. Maintain that breathing and go higher intensity for you. Excellent job, team. Maintain that breathing. Three, 2, and lower intensity. Again, whatever that looks like to you. If you need to go into your recovery position, hands on your thighs, lean forward. Maybe it's hands on the table in front of you, okay? Breathe out through pursed lips. How's everybody feeling?
Great.
Good.
Good.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we got one last boxing interval in 3, 2, and go. Good job, team. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. And lower intensity. So I'm deciding to just circle my arms just to keep them lightly moving. If you need to just have full rest, just focus on the breathing, that's great too. Now for our next group of intervals, guys, what I want you to do is you will need your weight or whatever you are using for a weight. And remembering, adding a weight is increasing the intensity. So if just body weight is good enough for you, then that works too, okay? So we are having a longer rest here because we're in between exercises. Actually, you know what? I was not appropriately set up today. I need to quickly grab my weight. All right.
Jill, sorry to interrupt. I have to leave. It's Barry.
Oh, okay, Barry. You have an awesome, awesome rest of your day.
Thank you.
Have a
Sorry.
great one, Barry. Bye-bye now.
Brian Falls right now.
Cheerio.
Okay, gang. Now with your weight, you can hold your one weight in both hands, or you can hold one weight in one hand. So watching my timer, all we're gonna do is press up and overhead. Ready? To me, and up and down. So keeping that core tight, up and down, up and down. So this is a bigger range of motion. It's helpful to breathe out as we lift that weight up. We've got a couple seconds left, and then we're going to do lower intensity, and I'll show you what that looks like, and low intensity. So now we're either lifting the weight up to our chest and down, so a smaller range of motion. You can put the weight to the side and just focus on your recovery breathing, or gently keep your arms moving. Okay, so taking accountability for what lower intensity is for you. And still maintaining that full breath, breathing out through pursed lips. 3, 2, and higher intensity. So increasing that range. So remember, overhead movement. If this range of motion is not good for your body, then there are other ways to increase the intensity. Maybe we just lift and lower, smaller range of motion, but we can go a little bit quicker with control. So this is a way of increasing the intensity. And lower intensity, whatever that looks like to you. Good. So remember, with lifting weights, we do want to be cautious of how many repetitions we do of one movement, just because those muscles can get quite fatigued. So when we're doing our lower intensity movement, it might not be best to do a slower up and down, because that's still going to use up our strength. Ready and go. And we did mention yesterday about how to choose a weight. If you're finding this quite easy, you might need to change your resistance. Maintain that breathing. And lower intensity. Maintain your breathing. And if you're kind of wondering, well, she keeps mentioning the intensity and you're not quite getting the full scope of what that looks like, I highly encourage you to go onto the YouTube channel and watch yesterday's education session if you weren't able to make it yesterday. And that was 3 sets of that. So our next one is we've got the weight, knees apart, and we're going to hinge forwards and pull yourself up by clenching your glutes. So remember, crush that walnut between your bum cheeks. Now, I don't want anyone going fast on this one, just because that change of positioning can be tough on the blood pressure and can make you quite breathless because it's bending over. So I really want you, actually, you can make it harder by holding yourself here for 30 seconds or really squeeze those glutes as you pull yourself up, okay? Ready and go. And if you've already done a couple, you got some bonus reps in. Super, super fun. Now maintain your breathing pattern here. Lean forward from the hips. Crush that walnut to come back up. So ways to increase the intensity here would be, if you can, if your body lets you, that slightly deeper range of motion, maybe a slightly heavier weight. And now reducing the intensity here, I'm going to put the weight to the side and I'm just going to tap 1 foot forward at a time. Okay, so that's how I'm going to lower the intensity, just lightly keeping my legs moving. But you might need to fully stop and just focus on that recovery breath. All right, got last couple seconds, so I'm going to get prepared. My feet are wide and go. We're hinging forward, keeping those knees out and crushing that walnut to come back up. Remember, this movement can be done standing. It's just super important that you're hinging from your hips and not feeling it in your lower back. So that chest stays up. Keep up that breathing pattern, breathing out to pull yourself back up and lower intensity. There we go. So we're doing our lower intensity now, gang. Focusing on that breathing, breathing out through pursed lips. Okay, and we're doing our last one in 3, 2, and go. Knees wide, hinging forward and back. There we go, team. Squeezing those glutes as hard as you can. Pull yourself back up. I want those glutes tired, guys. There we go. Maintain that breathing pattern. Three, 2, and rest, or lower intensity, whatever that looks like for you. All right, give me a thumbs up, a middle if you're doing just okay, or a not doing well. Oh, good. I see some thumbs up. Gord, you're not doing well? What can I help you with?
Not much, it's just me.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you're here today. Good work.
I'm glad I came.
Perfect. Okay, team. So our next interval, again, if you use the weight, that's higher intensity. And if you're using the weight, it's super important that we stay up tall and the weight stays in line with your chest. And all we're going to do is we're going to turn slightly and lift up the knee. So I'm not leaning over to touch my elbow to my knee. That's super, super important. That's just going to put pressure on the back. We're just moving the weight to the side and lifting up that knee, back down, and then switch. And again, I can do that movement without the weight. If that's intense enough for you, this is challenging, then don't use the weight. And making sure my timer is correct, and let's go. So we're moving, turning that weight to the side, but we're keeping that core tight. The weight stays level with my chest. It's not reaching down, okay? Maintain that breathing pattern. And this can be a standing or seated. Here we go, and lower intensity. So for me, I'm just going to keep my arms and legs moving. You might need a full rest, recovery breathe. And we've got 2 more to do, gang. Everyone felt okay with that first interval?
Yeah.
Perfect. It's always good to do that quick check-in. Okay, did that movement feel good for me? All right, 3, 2, and higher intensity. So we're keeping that weight level with the chest. We're keeping up tall. And that core is tight. Great job, team. And lower intensity. Well done, everybody. Focus on that pursed lip exhale. Oh, we've got one last one in 3, 2, and let's go. Last one here, 3 of 3. Keep that weight level. Breathing out through pursed lips. And rest. Lighter intensity. And that was a lot longer than 30 seconds, I must admit. So great job, everybody. I should have said that we're doing mostly 30-second intervals.
That's the hardest.
That's more accurate, hey? All right, so as you're doing your lighter intensity movement, what the next movement is going to be is there's 2 options. If you are seated, you're gonna have one leg in front of you. If that tugs on your back, just bend the knee slightly, okay? Now you have to clench that leg muscle and lift up and down. So your goal is to tighten that leg muscle as you lift up and down. Okay, and you'll notice I'm not letting my body move at all. Okay, now if you're standing, have your balance support close by, because I want one leg in front, one leg behind, and then to wherever you are comfortable with, you're just going to bend down and up. Okay, is everybody ready?
Yep.
No, but we're going to have a blast anyway. 3, 2, and go. So if you're seated, this leg muscle is tight and we're lifting and lowering. Make sure that core is tight. And the goal is to keep clenching that muscle. You have to make that quad muscle or that thigh muscle work hard. Maintain your breathing, breathing out through pursed lips. And switch legs. So we don't really get a rest in between. And if you do need that 30-second rest, you take your rest now and then do your other leg. So everyone should have something that is challenging yet doable for them. This one's tricky, especially if you're seated, because you do have to consciously focus on tightening that leg muscle. Can everyone feel that?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. And relax. So I'm just gonna slowly kick one leg forward at a time. Maybe you wanna just lift up your heels. And if you're standing, I would just step forward and back, nice and slow, unless you need to just focus on your recovery breathing. If it's the legs working and it's different than those sit to stands. You
Yeah.
can tell me later if you enjoyed the difference or not. All right, ready team? And straighten that one leg if you're seated, tighten and lift and lower. Clench hard to lift up, clench hard to lift up. And if you feel your core tighten at the same time, awesome. Keep that muscle tight. 3, 2, and switch legs. Keep up that breathing pattern. Great job, team. 3, 2, and 1. Once again, focus on your recovery breathing, or you can just lightly kick 1 foot forward at a time. Now remember that recovery breathing, gang, in order to keep those airways optimally open, get your hands on your thighs and lean forward, or you can get your forearms on your table. Okay, but you do need that head to stay up, and you do need that head in line with the rest of your torso. Okay, so remember, slumping over is going to restrict your breathing.
I noticed that the more you bend your foot back, the more it affects your calf muscle.
Yeah, because that's putting that calf into a stretched position. So if you think about what your calf is responsible for, it's responsible for pointing your toe, which helps you push off when you walk. So when you pull those toes towards you, it's getting a stretch.
So should we not move our foot far enough back to affect our calf?
Nope, that's okay. It shouldn't feel like an intense stretch, because then it might get a little irritated being stretched that far as you move your leg. But absolutely a light stretch, that's really good. Now, straighten that leg, gang. We've got one more interval here. So tighten that thigh muscle, those quadriceps, those quads, and up and down. Remember to keep clenching that thigh hard, especially as you lift up. Maintain your breathing. Remember to breathe out through pursed lips. Great job, team. And switch legs, tighten, lower it, or raise and lower. I was gonna say lower while I lift my leg, if any of you caught that. Keep up that breathing pattern. And remember, if you're standing, it's kind of that 1 foot in front of the other, and you're going down and up to wherever feels comfortable yet challenging for you. And lower intensity. Okay, team, you're doing super, super great. I am so impressed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just one last 30 seconds or minute of movement. And what that movement is going to be is there's a couple of steps here. So keep doing your low intensity. We're gonna sit up tall, and the goal is to tighten your core, crush that walnut, keep everything really tight and pump your arms. And I want you to go at a challenging yet doable pace for you. Super key that nothing moves from shoulders down, just the arms. Does everyone understand?
Yep.
Okay, ready and go. So do your best to crush that walnut. Keep that belly tight as you pump those arms and breathe. Oh my goodness. So you're going for somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. Keep breathing, keep those glutes and core tight the whole time. That is 30 seconds there. As we get tired, keep those glutes tight, keep the core tight. That's 45 seconds. Do what you can, gang. And that was a minute. Woo! Great job, everybody. Now, I don't know if that timekeeping, that proper timekeeping is going to come back and haunt me later when you kind of realize, wait a minute, she said a minute and this is a lot longer. We know what a minute feels like now.
It's all good. It's all good.
Perfect. So breathe out through pursed lips, breathe in through the belly, right? We're trying to get that breathing under control. At the start of class, we practice that belly breath. We practice getting that rib cage expanding on our inhale. So just focus on recovering that breathing, bringing the heart rate back down. Breathing out through pursed lips. And remember, hands on your thighs or forearms, chest up, but bent over at the hips. This is a good recovery position to open up your airways.
Fun when your computer lags and we can hear that you're still going like this, but it looks like you stopped. So we're going, just resting.
That is the greatest excuse ever. Oh, guys, I'm frozen. Keep going.
Yeah, right.
I'm surprised no one's tried that in class yet. Oh, boy. Okay, keep getting that recovery breath back. Actually, really quick before we stretch and socialize more, what I want you to do is I want you to lean back in your chair. So everything's up and you're leaning back. And I want you to try to take 3 belly breaths. Whatever that looks like to you right now. Okay, so now, nice and slow, I want you to lean forward and either down on the elbows, keeping that chest up, or just on your hands leaning forward. And I want you to take 3 belly breaths. Which position felt better?
Forward.
Back. Back. Yeah,
Forward,
forward,
forward.
Yeah.
back.
So for most of you, leaning forward will feel better. And that's why this is the most often recommended breathing recovery position. Okay, that forward position, we're here, if you're standing. Okay, now if being seated and leaning forward did not feel as good, some of that might have to do with the mobility in your upper back and it's compressing. And that's where the leaning back feels better because your chest opens up more. So what I'd want you to try is to try the standing recovery position. So that opens up the hips. So now the rib cage isn't being as compressed, and see if that feels better than leaning back to breathe. Okay. And then that would be the best recovery position for you. And some of you are still going to find, no, leaning back feels way more open. I can breathe. And again, that's because that opens up the chest for you. But now you should have a better idea of what is the best recovery position for your body. Okay. All right, time to stretch. Take your hand, reach it down. And I want you to gently actually tilt your head towards that arm. And if it feels good for you, I want you to reach that other arm up. Well, how are we feeling, team?
That's good. Almost broke a sweat.
There you go, Rick. Nice work.
Did a thigh burn today.
A thigh
I know,
burn.
when the weather
I
heats up,
know.
I'll be breaking sweats.
I should say I find
Slowly
the 3
switch
days,
sides.
I should say I find the 3 days in a row is a little bit much for me. So what I did today was just tone down just about all the exercises. because I don't want to
Perfect.
miss a day. I don't want to miss a day, but last week I
Absolutely.
found it really hard after 3 days.
Hmm.
And I really enjoyed that middle day. That's. So I
For
don't want to
sure,
miss that
Maureen.
either.
No, good, but good on you, because you use what we've been learning on how to modify, because, more frequently moving throughout the week is better. So
Right.
it's way better to tone down the intensity and still get that third day in, relax there, gang, stretch out a leg, rather than trying to push yourself for just 2 days.
Good. Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's awesome. Good work.
I admire everybody else that goes at it 3 days. Good for them.
And everyone's at a different level, and that's okay.
Right. Well, I think my COPD is almost at its max, so that's how it tells, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure. And switch legs, gang. Now, guys, I've got my kind of regular crew of chatty people, which is awesome. Those of you that don't often, either because you don't really like to, or you're just here to focus, I kind of want to hear from you guys, the ones who don't often get a voice in. How are you doing? How are you finding the classes?
Good.
Great.
Good.
There we go.
Yeah, good.
The more the merrier.
Yes.
I find I can hear your voice in my head doing the dishes or something, going, "Go team, way to go, gang."
Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, Jill. It's Catherine here.
Hi.
I'm wondering, those leg stretches, what muscles are you targeting for those?
This stretch right here.
Yeah, and the other one behind. Because I find it
Yep.
difficult. I'm on a wooden chair and I find it uncomfortable, but I can stand up. But I'm just wondering, where am I supposed to be feeling it?
That's a great question, Catherine. So this stretch with the leg extended and we hinge forward to kind of reach towards our toes, that's stretching the back of your legs, your hamstrings, a little bit into your calf. And so what you can do standing is just get that leg in front and then get your bum back behind you.
Yeah.
And then, so now gang, and we'll do this stretch next, either turning sideways to drop that leg behind you, or drop that leg underneath. That's stretching out those hip flexors, which is super important when we do seated exercise, because that's getting those hip flexors tight. And what you can do if you want to stand, just get that one foot in front, and now you're gently just pushing your hips forward. You should feel that at the front of the hip.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Thank you for the question. And Cynthia, I'm very pleased that you get yourself motivated with a little Jill on your shoulder going, go, go. That's awesome.
Good question, Jill.
Yes.
I was wondering, because you seem to sort of know everything about everything. What education? I don't mean to know it all, but in a good way. What education did you have that brought you to this?
Well, switch legs first. So I was very fortunate in my mentorship, who I had around me to mentor me. A super fantastic kinesiologist who's been in the health and fitness realm for 40 years. She mentored me for how many years now? 10, 12 years.
Wow.
Which was fantastic.
The chatting yesterday. Oh, sorry.
Oh, so one moment. So, and then I had a fantastic physio who still practices. He's one of the greatest physios I've ever met. He's so thorough, and everyone I send him to, they go, wow, that was such a different physio experience. So I just got myself shadowing people and getting around kind of the best of the best as much as I can. And then I took my kinesiology degree, rest that leg there, team. Let's just pull that elbow up. So I've got my kinesiology bachelor degree, and then I've taken lots of courses, extra courses, and educational sessions and seminars and such like that. Lots of research and
Did you work with
exploring.
compensation?
Pardon?
Did you work with workers' compensation at all?
Nope, I do a lot of work with ICBC.
Same thing.
Yeah, switch sides there. Haven't gotten it much referral from workers' comp. And that's because workers' comp actually works pretty closely with the health authorities.
Yeah.
So it's more publicly funded, and ICBC is that, yes,
Private,
it's government based, but they're private still. They're not affiliated with the health authority.
Yeah.
But if you ever know, lots of people don't know this, if you ever know someone who gets into a motor vehicle accident, they are automatically qualified for 12 kinesiology sessions through ICBC.
Is that since they changed the rules or still?
Oh, no, I think that's still, unless they expanded it, but they definitely didn't take it away.
Because they took a lot away as far as you can't sue them anymore.
Yeah, no, but the kinesiology, they're really getting on board with that, because that's all active rehabilitation,
Yeah.
similar to what we are doing, right? We're actively working towards our health with our lungs.
Yes. It's awesome.
Thanks, Jill.
Of course. Thank you all for coming on. It was wonderful to see you all.
Thank you, Jill.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks,
You
Jill.
are so welcome.
Jill.
Wonderful.
We'll see you next week.
Again.
You are all wonderful. I super
Bye now.
appreciate.
Jill.
Thank you.